Let me ask you a dangerous question. Why do you feel exhausted right now? You haven't run a marathon. You haven't carried heavy stones all day. Maybe you have been sitting in your comfortable chair for hours. Yet your brain feels like it has been in a boxing match. We live in a strange time. We have more comfort than any generation in history, but we have less peace. We are physically rested, but mentally drained. Most people think the solution is more coffee or more sleep, but they are wrong. The problem isn't your energy level. The problem is the noise. Today, through the story of a man named Leo, we will uncover the invisible enemy stealing your intelligence. And I will show you a 2,000-year-old technique to shut it down. Meet Leo. Leo was a high performer, or at least he tried to be. He worked as a data analyst in a busy downtown firm. Leo believed in multitasking. He thought he could reply to emails, listen to a podcast, and write a report all at the same time. But inside Leo's head, it was a storm. His attention span was shorter than a goldfish's. He would start a task, then his phone would ding, and suddenly he was scrolling through social media for 20 minutes. He felt guilty, so he would try to work harder, which only made him more stressed. This cycle is what psychologists call cognitive overload. By 2 p.m., Leo usually felt a heavy fog in his brain. He couldn't remember simple words. He couldn't make decisions. He felt like he was wading through thick mud. He was drowning in information, but starving for wisdom. Like many of us, Leo tried to fix the problem with chemistry. "I just need a boost," he said. He started drinking triple-shot espressos. He bought smart drugs and supplements that promised laser focus. He even downloaded expensive productivity apps that gamified his tasks. Did it work? Briefly. The caffeine gave him energy, but it was anxious energy. His body was awake, but his mind was still scattered. He was like a car with a powerful engine, but no steering wheel. He was moving fast, but going nowhere. One evening, after a panic attack in the subway, Leo realized something terrifying. I am losing control of my own mind. Leo remembered a story his grandfather used to tell about a temple of silence hidden in the misty hills. Desperate for a cure, he took a leave of absence from work. He turned off his phone for the first time in 10 years and began his journey. When he reached the temple, he found the master sitting by a small pond. The master didn't look magical. He looked ordinary. Leo bowed and spoke fast, his voice trembling with stress. "Master, my mind is broken. It is too loud. I cannot focus. I cannot sleep. Please teach me a complex meditation technique. Give me a mantra. Give me a puzzle to solve." The master opened his eyes slowly. He didn't give Leo a mantra. Instead, he picked up an empty glass jar. The master dipped the jar into the muddy pond and filled it up. The water was brown and swirling with dirt, leaves, and sand. You couldn't see through it at all. "This is your mind, Leo," the master said. "It is cloudy. It is chaotic." The master handed the jar to Leo. "Here is your task. Make this water clear. You cannot use a filter. You cannot replace the water. You must make this water clear. Do not come back until you succeed." Leo sat under a tree with the jar. He tried to catch the floating dirt with his fingers, but that only made the water muddier. He tried to hold the jar perfectly still, but his shaking hands caused ripples. He became frustrated. "This is impossible." He shouted, "Doing something requires action." But hours passed. Leo got tired. He was so exhausted that he finally gave up trying to fix the water. He put the jar down on a flat rock, and he just sat there, looking at it. Then, the miracle happened. As the jar sat on the rock, untouched, the heavy sand began to sink to the bottom. Then the smaller dirt particles followed. Slowly, very slowly, the water became crystal clear. The master returned. "You see?" He whispered. The water wanted to be clear, Its natural state is clarity, but your constant intervention kept it muddy. This is not just a story, it is neuroscience. When you constantly feed your brain with TikToks, emails, and news, you are shaking the jar. You are flooding your brain with dopamine. Your brain has a system called the default mode network. It needs silence to process information, to settle the dirt. But if you never stop consuming, the sediment never settles. You live in a permanent state of brain fog. Leo realized his mistake. He was trying to force focus. But focus is not an act of force. It is an act of elimination. To clear the mind, you don't do more. You do less. You have to put the jar down. Leo returned to the city. He didn't become a monk living in the mountains. He kept his job, but he changed his method. Now, before he starts his work, he sits for 10 minutes doing absolutely nothing. No phone, no music, no thinking. He lets the mud settle. His colleagues are running around, stressed and drinking their fourth coffee. Leo moves slowly, but he finishes his work twice as fast. Because looking through clear water is easy, but looking through mud is impossible. Now, look at your own life. Is your jar muddy? When was the last time you put it down? Here is my challenge to you. After this video ends, do not click on the next recommended video. Just sit for 5 minutes in silence. Let your sediment sink. If you accept this challenge, write "clear mind" in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to build a stronger, sharper mind with us. The clarity you seek is already there. You just need to stop shaking the jar